with a booster, and we're all set. Let me check everything working. Okay, guys, so finally this is gonna be the recording of how to play Talons. That's gonna be part 2 of the guide. I'll not play any music on purpose, so we're not getting like, you know, audio muted or whatsoever. And here I'll gonna be showing like the fancy kind of build that you could go for if you really want to play Talons. So this is my game against Soin. That orc is a Soin orc, and this is gonna be the experimental kind of strategy with the earliest timing push that you could only go for, and it's like a fancy kind of build for which there are some key points, and you will have not to forget any of those. So basically, let's go. What I'll be doing here is we're opening through just one moonwell. We are not building the second one. So what counters this build, and of course if you scout and you see that the orc has 2 burrows before tech, you immediately add the second moonwell and delay your attack therefore, because if the orc player is opening into like bind circlet and getting extra grunt then and literally like pressuring you, you might not survive with just one moonwell. So if you need to play reliable, I would say not to go for it, but if you want to surprise your opponent and if you're like already confident playing Talons, you could try to use this build as well. So very standard wisp. Once we have like 3 on our lumber, goes to scout. AW on this map, so like this is also a map dependent build. This map is really big. Sometimes it's just better to 2 moonwells, because sometimes it's better to creep level 3. We're also gonna jump to the dryad openers and like different type of dryad plays we could do into orc players. But so far, idea is that you're gonna be going 21 wisps through the extra shop and then immediately tech. This is the earliest tech you could possibly have as an idol without, like, you know, just not building any buildings or not going anything really crazy. So what's gonna be happening here is I do scout with 2 wisps. So 1 wisp I need here, because that wisp is gonna be checking what is the orc's build and what's going on with his like burrows, if he is building that second one and stuff, while this wisp needs to check for the hero, because, you know, like sometimes they wind walk into that and stuff like that. So that's like kind of my know-how. Originally you can literally scout with just 1 wisp. So we see Blade Master, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, the wind walk into killing the wisp. And here all you need to know if the orc is building like a war mill, if he's playing the illusion build, because if he's playing the blade illusion build, your talents will not work like that. You'll have to go dryad, and you'd have to go immolation. As you could see, I did not skill any skills so far, and now this like very moment here confirms this is a wind walk, and now I'm actually feeling confident. He did like a pull with his peon, so it's like a lot of things going on. Unfortunately, I do gift experience to the Blade Master, but that's not like, you know, it's not good like once you do it against human or undead who's creeping this camp, because that's level 2 guaranteed. So here what you generally do is we're still building 21 supply. I could tech right now, but unfortunately I happen to lose a wisp, so it's bad, really. It's bad because it's still 8 seconds. Then I just go to the shop, buy circlet dust, and immediately because I assume he's gonna be creeping this, I go towards him. Tier 2 started the very moment my wisp basically finished getting built. So this is a very important moment. Like if you forget to tech by 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and you know, like because you were controlling the wisp here, demon hunter here, you were checking where the orc is, you know, there is a lot of stuff that's going on the map on the same time, and if you forget to tech, which I did in my life, I'll tell you that, this build is no more efficient, no more, you know, like basically you just ruined your entire build up and plan for the game, and that's it. Like you're just playing normal Talons with 1 moonwell. So you must tech the very second you can. That's like super important. Then what we do is this AOW from here, you can build it here if you want to deny this like peon trick with pulling the creeps. You build it here more standard way. Then this AOW could go for either the shop creep, which is a super safe creep, or in my personal experience, it's actually better if it goes towards this camp right here. So what's going next is I come here. I'm kind of lucky to find this Blade Master, because sometimes orcs go to the shop to buy a circlet and they run around into creep in this or even this. Like, I've seen it also. Or sometimes they're going around to creep your shop. So like, we have only one wisp out there on the map. This archer must not die as well with this build. That's a super important archer. And immediately, like, once I have enough gold and once I like finish controlling here, actually I should go for the second, so like we're tier 2 in, and once I have a chance, you see, like, I'm adding a moonwell, and then I'm getting ready to get another moonwell, and meanwhile I order a super fast shop. You might ask me, like, but wait, that's not efficient, we don't have enough wisps and stuff like that, right? But actually this is efficient. Why is that? Well, because it allows me to wall myself off guaranteed before the Blade Master potential timing of coming here. So there are some orc players that would actually, like, you know, creep this and just go like Hitman, let's say, would do, right? So that's why I don't play this build against him, or at least I don't do that too often, into like 2 moonwells, blah, 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 blah. And that's how you go. Now, speaking of what's going on here is, was able to catch the Blade Master. I was able to land a few mana burns here, and now I'm chasing the grunt. So why is this first grunt that the orcs have is super important? As you could see, all the orcs nowadays, they're playing for, you see, like, he's little bit, but like it could have been same time tech technically, because what we're doing is he's playing one Barrow, we're playing one Woundwell, like, why not? We're just going, you know, like, orc kind of build, but for the Night Elf side of things. And he's getting his second Barrow quite late. And idea behind this, like, one Grunt, one Blade army with all of those healing salves is that he's tanking the damage of the creeps who's Unit 1, and then he swipes them, and while Unit 1 is getting healed, the second one is taking damage. And then it's vice versa, right? And that allows him to actually creep. If the orc player is losing this very first grunt, it actually means a lot, way more than you think. So what I do here is I see the Blade Master, he's getting heal solved. I'm trying not to lose archer, but at the same time now I kind of realize that there's still no Blade Master. But you see, I'm like a little bit scared, so I'm like trying to run it away. Like, sometimes it's not a good idea to actually, you know, even bring this archer in the scene. Now I see him getting a lot of damage. I wake up the creeps because the only unit around here is his grunt. That would trigger ensnare anytime he's gonna try to escape the range of this troll right here. So what happens next is basically I'm lucky to kill the grunt, and that's actually very big. Not the easiest, but it's that. So even though I did not kill it, I was trying to do that with my archer, but again, that's very big because he can't creep normal right now. The only option for him right now is to go here, because it's literally like just like solo blade, and his second grunt only started being in production. So all that time, and while the ground is gonna run, we are actually pretty safe. So as I said before, you need to wall off. As you could see that, like, early I'm building 4 moonwalls. Why am I doing that? Well, because I don't spend money elsewhere. That's all I do. I just tagged, I got 1 archer, and that's it. Now shop is ready. That's also one of the reasons why I want to get the shop ready. And now it serves as a gate, because inside here I have exactly good space for, like, you know, like possibly buildings and stuff. So I decide to actually free my archer and just wall it off. I'll go into, like, the square theory a little bit later and explain, like, how you need to, like, actually build the buildings. But so this creep camp could be taken by 1 demon hunter and 1 AOW. You don't need anything. You don't need wisps here. You don't need archers here. Like, those 2 units, they creep this entire thing. Okay, so, like, because I realized that I did enough damage here, I realized that he's here, and he could go either try to see what's in my base, which he doesn't get inside, so I'm kind of safe here, and therefore I'm going for how to say that, like I have a wisp here to check if he's creeping the merc camp, because whatever orcs is the top position on this map or the bottom, orcs love to creep actually this camp, and therefore we're actually going to kind of the safe creep. Also, like if you're playing normal game, this is considered the safe creep camp, and this is the aggressive one. So there we go. Demon Hunter just killing those gnolls level 3. AOW just dealing damage to the main guy. As you could see, Demon Hunter could take some damage. It doesn't matter that much, to be honest. He finds my wisp on the mercenary camp, and he's trying to look for me, like, where the heck am I? He sees that I'm not here, you see? And he isn't even, like, going to creep it. He just sees I'm not there. He's like, okay, I'm gonna creep the merc camp, because, like, he doesn't see me here. He assumes I'm either here, or maybe I'm creeping his camp. Like, he doesn't know for sure, but it allows him some time. And next moment here is that due to the tech advantage that normally you would not have, what you do is you get with that archer, hopefully it's alive, Beastmaster, and even if you see the orc being here and creeping this merc camp, you still take your Beastmaster, summon first quill immediately to launch the cooldown, and now this is like the old version. You run into the orc's base, and guess what? You hit the timing of canceling. Usually you would not hit the timing of cancellation of those buildings. They would be getting finished by this timing. You would absolutely hit it. I got the very best item of all the race and times, which I immediately sell. Getting the... I don't buy boots. I get just the staff. Why don't I buy boots? So I kill the grunt. I'll unlikely to be killing anything else, really. Move speed kind of work. And if you get that item, it's actually very good for you. But... like, I don't think that, you know, like spending my resources on that really matters. So here I'm forced into like getting few extra wisp, and again, I do have certain wisp count that I need to focus at, and my way of playing it is you always set up one engine of wind into tier 3, into like basically your priority once you hit tier 2 is get your second hero, one engine of wind, tier 3, second engine of wind. That's how you go. And I get 4 early moonwells as soon as I could, because I will get a lot of damage here, and I need to somehow repair from here. AOW meanwhile go into this camp, and you see Bestiary getting cancelled. This is very unusual timing for orcs, and most of them, like, to begin with, I need to say that, like, orcs learn to build their base. So, like, they do actually have, like, a certain build order, and let's say if it would have been Hitman playing, he would have had his barracks here, and this would be only way in and out of his base. And as you could see, his Shadow Hunter is still on his way out. So, like, we cancel this, and if done, again, correctly, if you don't forget to launch the tier and do everything as I said in this video, you will be able to cancel it before the Shadow Hunter is even out, which is a big thing. So now he's coming here. I have no TP. Trying to focus the troll. What you need to remember is sometimes even if you don't kill a certain unit, orcs, they heal for money. So, you know, like even if you just attack their units, they're still gonna spend not that much, like 33 gold, but that's something, you know. Of course 33 gold is nothing again. So like now, because I came here and he needs to defend it and he wants to get something back, because we kind of canceled his buildings and we are kind of ahead at this point. He's using his hex. He's taking hex first, and the only, I think, correct way to play Shadow Hunter, even if your buildings are getting cancelled, is still to go Serpent Wards and healing. I don't believe in hex. Moreover, I could say that I won a lot of games against Shadow Hunter who had hex and something versus Serpent Wards and healing, like historically just being that. So if you see hex, might be bad, like here, you know, at the spot. Also he got eels, the item Cyclone. So but generally on a late game, if you know you stabilize, you might, like, yeah, I might lose my Demon Hunter here. I'm trying like to do something about it. Probably should have went here and tried to block with those units, but yeah, Demon Hunter unfortunately dies. But I mean, you know, we wasted quite a bit of time. He even forgot to build the Spirit Lodge or Shaman building. which is another mistake. And here, as you could see, he's quite damaged, so I just buy Demon Hunter, troll down. He's gonna be trying, he's gonna kill this Beastmaster, I think. Yeah, we could maybe deny it or try to block. Yeah, I'm trying to block, but Windwalk, and unfortunately it's dead. No, I get no mana because I rebought my hero, but so is Shadow Hunter. Now we could just... I should have actually just killed it and stepped out if I have a teleport cooldown. I'm not sure if I do have it though. Oh, okay, Creeps took it. Still fine. Okay, Archer is down as well, but again, so differences. So, yeah, by the way, once your first Ancient of Wind finishes, what you do is you go for the first Adept training. That's like always been the way like that, because it takes a lot of time to do it. And then you make Talons. Once your tier 3 finishes as well, you hit the second timing, and the earliest you could have is 8:30. 8 minutes and 30 on a timer, and that's the earliest timing for you to have the master training for your Talons. I'm looking at what's here. I see him not creeping this. I'm double checking if he is here. I see he's not there as well. So that's just like some scouting. And now I just take my Beastmaster, and I understand that like since the middle is not getting contested right now because he lost his Shadow Hunter and the Berserker, which is a big loss, I'm actually going towards the shop creep here. Therefore we're about to hit our tier 3 timings. So those talents are the most important talents of the game. You might ask me why, because we're gonna get more eventually. Thing is, your first talents that you get like during the upgrade timings, they have some mana here, and that mana is gonna get doubled because you're making upgrades. And if you lose those, or if you take them with you to creep, and there is a Blade Master with Raider with like Creep Jack and whatever happens, I don't care. If they die, you're gonna be losing so much tempo on your like mid game that it's, in my understanding, it's just better to keep them in your base until you're hitting the timing, or you need to seriously contest the middle camps. Outside of those two reasons, I don't see a single reason to drag them out. So here again, I'm just creeping. I need Demon Hunter level 3, obviously. I need to creep my Beastmaster to level 2. Master upgrade is finished. You see, the timing is 7:50 and we're already making the Masters. So the daytime just started. Orc is coming here to creep jack me. We're just getting this killed. I'm trying to finish the camp. Aimed for the mana burn. Oh, so last hits this one. Missed around it. I don't know why I used dust. So I buy Inwool from him. So I use dust, so I get a slot. So I buy Inwool from the orc, because again, if he's gonna be pressuring me, this is the only item that could make a difference in terms of the current where we are right now. Right now I'm going to pass the staff likely. No? Oh no, I'm just, yeah, moving this hero back. Maybe he's gonna staff my, hex my Beastmaster. No, he doesn't even go for it. So we're almost level 3. Research, master training is almost out. And basically we usually get 5 to 6 talents by this timing. Like usually it's 6, but in this game it's 5 because of the mid game right here. So I just go here to get my Demon Hunter and Orb and level 3. It's cool if you get Beastmaster level 2 as well because of the Hawk, so you can contest this, not allow his Blade Master to take items and so forth. So I'm just explaining the reasoning, exact timings and creep route. Remember, Talents is about micro and timings. If you fail on your micro and let's say you spend your entire mana on creeping, or you take those talents and you don't control them and stuff, you can't win the orc player. I mean, obviously, then like, and the other thing is timing. You need to hit certain timings. So he is expanding right now. With Talents, you are, unless you're going Tinker 3rd, and unless if it's getting high levels, there is nothing you could do to take down those towers. They just, well, they don't die, basically. So, since we got no Tinker so far, and I got no even resources for that because I'm pumping new talents. Why am I pumping new talents instead of taking a tinker? Is because every talent that's coming out has 150 mana, which is exactly enough for Cyclone, and that's why it's extremely important. Once we're going to be fighting, there are going to be always new talents that are going to be incoming, and you actually need to turn off the autocast for the fairy fire so you get that enough mana for Cyclone here. So next thing we do here is this is the middle point contest, and except for suppers or high level tinker, as I said before, you can't take this tower down. I mean, if one tower you could try to, I mean, but if there are like 2, 3, 4, not much you could do. Therefore, you need to open these buildings. Not necessarily to even supper, but to always keep the orc player paranoid, so he's gonna spend his time and resources, and like mind resources as well, thinking what if. That's like a big part of this game. So as well as that, we're going to be contesting now the mid camp due to like all the previous game as it played out and kind of got together. He's building shamans. This is like the fancy new build order that most of orc players go for. I do think that shamans are actually more effective, and I do think that Shadowhunter second with those very strong Serpent Wards, I'm just gonna place it, say it like that, are very good against Talons. We do have our Cyclone timing, but because the building is getting constructed, he's now tied to this place. This is his time in Expo. Because we grabbed this early game as well, we could also counter expand, but this game is gonna be a little bit different. So for those of you who just joined, that's me playing against Soin. Like, I'm using Fairy Fire if I feel like I need to creep faster, like you see, and I'm using it only on creeps I could kill fast with that. So sometimes you could use a little tiny bit of mana. He's trying to drag and pull the creep camp again. And here, I kind of feel like I should creep jack. So this is a moment which you might ask me, like, the heck are you doing? Well, there are 3 Serpent Wards already on a map. You cannot fight underneath those. You always need to kite the orc player, and I do think that me getting this mana burn landed down here without getting ensnared, because I'm no TP and stuff, is actually worth it, because then orc, as I understand, has a shop somewhere by his base, and once again I'm gonna win like 15 or 10 seconds of time, and maybe this is gonna be exactly the time so I get this camp. And therefore, I invest this invul right here. So it's like 1, 2, 3. It's like a little bit of, you know, forward thinking. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes, you know, like, but because I saw that some mana was already spent, so that's like my idea of what I could try to do. And once you're actually playing the game, you do those things kind of quick sometimes. And, you know, so that's like, I could try that. Maybe it was a wrong move, but like, I think it was right. Here we get this guy, and now Beastmaster is level, you see. So yeah, because I don't have enough mana for Hawk here, I'm only in 49 mana, and the Hawk costs 50. What I do is I run with my Demon Hunter, and again I do the reveal thingy. So there are a few ways to play around the Blade Master less hitting the creeps. The most obvious one is to Cyclone the blade. However, if orc has shamans nearby, he's gonna dispel it and purge it just immediately. Like, and therefore sometimes it's better to actually Cyclone the creeps and wait till they actually land, and once they're gonna be landing, you're gonna be more like firmly and confidently hitting your timings with the last hitting the creeps. So remember that you could always Cyclone everything except for your own units. So we're getting this guy done, and we're getting one of the very best items, arguably. I think that's the best Bone Chimes, because I will have a 3 melee hero. If the orc player has no shamans and he's going like Spirit Walker, sometimes it's better to get Keeper Third into this combination. But I truly believe that Tinker Third is still like unique and really nice hero, and now finally I'm getting the Tinker Third for the push. So now I'm trying to like again come here, drag some of his resources. As you could see, those Serpent Wards, they kind of rape, so trying to just like, you know, I still have Moon Juice, so I could actually stop my Demon Hunter and just heal it. So I'm taking some of the orcs' time while bringing Wisp here for potential counter expansion, and now I see that his raiders, this is, again, we're playing against Soin, so that's kind of Soin thingy. Whenever this happens, and as he feels that he could actually hold it with the towers, he always sends all the way around a few raiders that gonna be hitting your moonwells. So your only reaction to that is to staff your Tinker. Here I was controlling, like, this Demon Hunter should not had gotten here. It was due to me controlling Wisps and Talons here, so it was like miss-microed. I should have just left it on hold position. Therefore, cycloning the blade, Demon Hunter was able to get out. You see, I cycloned pretty much everything I could. And now I cyclone those two, and I'm just stepping my Demon Hunter back. Against this kind of lane play, you always want to get Keeper third, but in the actual fighting, Keeper third is like, it's dying from like 2 crits of a Blade Master. So you want to get Tinker instead of getting the Keeper. Demon Hunter, well, yeah, I mean, this is why some people don't hate playing Talons, because you can chase anything. Like, there's very little fixation you might have. So I understand that I have 0 chances of doing anything here, and I just go and kill the shop. Why? Because that's the only shop on the map, likely, and because Orc will not be able to heal afterwards. He'll need to rebuild one, let's say here, counter expansion. And now this is the hardest moment. So Orc wants, because he has 2 towers up at his expo, so the Orc player wants now to be laming my base as hard as he could, so to drag my attention out of here and to prevent me from laming him. And the only solution now for me in the situation where I am right now is to, you see he's even going, blindly going even here. I think he never scouted that. Yeah, so I can't cancel that preventively. I just understand and I see him going there, and I don't want him to even think that I'm thinking about counter expo. Though it's obvious, but like I'm canceling before Soin gets there. Now I'm getting a supper, and whenever you're getting a supper, you must summon a hawk, and you must literally move command into the supper, because like you need to see rounds if there is a Blade Master coming to kill and snipe this supper. He's dying from 1 hit, so if there is a blade, you need to cyclone him, you need to be fast, you need to micro well. So Talons is not easy to play if you play them like on a decent level, but it's not easy to play against them as well. Tower down, Barrow down. Soin is trying to do something, but we got enough supply. You see, like whenever he's focusing anything with a tower, you just need to drag those units back. If you can't kill the tower and it's getting out repaired, I would not recommend it if you don't have full mana like I do have here, but you can sometimes even cyclone those peons, as I do here, because I have a lot of mana. Otherwise, you don't go for this move. Now, so you're killing the tower, his raiders are just coming here to lame, and that's like, it's tough. The only anti-laming procedure that a Night Elf has is to staff your Tinker, drop a factory, possibly buy the second orb for it. Tinker is the worst orb carrier out of all the Night Elf heroes you could only have, but here I was forced to do so. So we drank the Moonwells before it dies, so we buy orb, potion, okay. And also whenever this happens here, what you do is you set up your rally point inside your base. So if you set it up inside your base, you're always gonna have some Talons here with mana that will also have a lot of mana, and that's gonna prevent this. So immediately rebuilding the Moonwell, drinking this one, and because I killed all the towers and barrows here, I can now fight him. He doesn't have that big of an army, because Orc, so if Orc is just playing like pure standard, he expands, gets supplies, there's gonna be fight. That's gonna be him having about 63 to 65 supply, and you would have 50, but you would have a lot of items. You would have like healing potions, invulns, scrolls of healings, and other stuff basically. So Tinker is just like anti-lame in here. He got 4 raiders, and he understands now that he needs the towers to go up. He needs to somehow fight me, but he's unable to because there is no DPS, no units. I'm like moving my talents here to get like this raider a little bit surrounded. So what you do is whenever you focus fire a unit you must manually cast Fairy Fire on it. If there's a big fight, I would say that it's always a good practice to firstly focus grunts, because they're heavy armor and therefore they're getting 2 times the damage, and also they digest fast. It's easier, you know, that you just get them out, you get some experience, and then you start focusing raiders, shamans, like serpent wards, kiting, whatever like else happens. That's like, well, how the fights go. Here again, like, you drop a factory and you just have some talents that usually you just rebuild from your main base and so forth. Here he has the adept, but again, like, adept training with those like lightning shield doesn't do too much, because you can always use a crawl form to dodge it. So we're getting beast, yeah, so Soin, as well as many other top either night elves, orcs, what they do here is they use just 1 purge or 1 dispel, and then they try to manually kill the units, so they're kind of going very efficient on their mana in the way they actually dispel things. So whenever this happens, you might always want to try to actually like deny it or kill it or do whatever you like. So Beastmaster staffed here, Tinker was able to finish along with those Robo Goblins, along with like Talons, and this orb was able to finish 2 raiders because Soin did not pay attention here. At home, thank you so much for the follow. And once again, now we're pushing his expansion. So he has a TP, he has a shop here, clearly. He is gonna be trying to obviously, like, yeah, he kills it with a crit, unfortunately. Ice around the Shadow Hunter. Demon Hunter is going after peasants, I mean, peons, whatever you call them. Level 4 on DH. Beastmaster coming back. Now it's okay, I think, to actually, yeah, bring my Tinker back, because I think we are like enough here. I do see that raiders are now back, and I understand that I need more DPS and army here to fight here and now. Bringing back my Demon Hunter, Mana Burn like Shamans before they're even coming, because I'm kind of off position, but his expansion is still staying here. So whenever you have an orc that has an expo, one of like super simple plays you should go for is just whenever you get Tinker, you just send solo Tinker to the expo, if there are like no towers, if that's all been thought about and stuff. So your Beast, DH, Talons, attack his army / main base, then your Tinker is solo trying to kill. Tinker must have the blue staff of Tele then, because it's likely that the orc could also split his army, and he could send like 1 raider to your base, 1 blade to kill the Tinker, and be trying to like do the static defense with serpent wards at the main base. So that's like the way the orc split, and that's the way Night Elf split. That's like how we played from both sides. Demon Hunter is coming back. Beastmaster is getting focused, so once again staffed. Drinking all the wells. I'm setting up another Moonwell for 60 supply, bringing the new Talons, so looks like he's like almost dealing with my army here, but it's all to the point where you're bringing those old Talons. And once again, as I said before, whenever this happens, you just make sure that you set up still the rally point inside your base. So you would have like 2 Talons here in case if there are going to be 2 raiders, and that's for those of you who play on like high level. If you're playing on like, I don't know, 1600 MMR, take all of your Talons. I don't think that's going to happen, but like just in case, keep the Talons here. It also prevents the supper, if the orc is buying supper, into like blowing up your moon walls. So heroes always focus serpent wards. Shadow Hunter is still not level 3. We drop another factory. If you focus serpent wards, it's actually very like fightful, I guess. Basically, like, yeah, it's very like you can fight here. So yeah, remember to use crawl form to save your talents. It allows you to dodge if you see the ensnare like traveling, actually getting used and traveling towards your talent. You could always use a crawl form and dodge it. Same goes for the bears, by the way. If you use a bear form, and while there is an ensnare flying to ensnare your bear, it dodges it. I see very few night elves do that, but it works. So as you could see again, like 1 purge into denying my own quill beasts. That's ultra important because I kind of feel that his Shadow Hunter should be getting towards level 3, and so it does not happen. That's what I do here. The orb from Tinker, it's like, okay, it has right now because it's been fight, but generally you want to have it on a Beastmaster if you go for double orb, because Tinker's attack speed is just one of the worst, I think, if not the worst on the game. His damage is still higher than the Keeper's, though. And there we go. So Talons kind of control on what the Orc would be doing. Tinker, you see, like, yeah, it passed the orb to the Beast. And now Tinker will solo deal as long as it has the mana for the factory with this entire expansion. Tinker is really good at demolishing buildings. So here we get the new talents. I kind of forget to like manage them. Of course, you need no more than like 3 to 4 talents inside your main base. Shadow Hunter is now level 3, so now again, like, I must focus those Serpent Wards, otherwise they're just gonna demolish everything I have. And you need to micro your units really well. You need to like control each talent you could. Blade getting damaged. You remember the shop we killed? So now he's unable to heal as well. You see, like, his Blade Master is gonna stay like that for the rest of the fight. Now I kinda, yeah, Tinker is trying to like hit here. I forget about those talents because I'm too busy controlling something over here probably. I think I dodged something with this curl form. Yeah, finally pocket factory into like killing the building. Works pretty well. Killing the Serpent Wards, and now finally I'm bringing a lot of my talents and we keep pushing. Denied here again. So a lot of those deny would actually force the Orc player into like using 2 purges for a single Quill Beast. That's what's gonna happen. Dodge the ensnare, but still like range damage. Found another shop, cancelled another shop. Tinker was able to take care of that base, and now we're 50 supply into 44 supply sowing, which means that generally like Orc needs at least 10 to 15 more supply to fight you, while you need to build that like ultra efficient 50 supply army with as many items as only could, and your heroes are kind of carrying his units. So once again, the idea on those fights is that you focus the Serpent Wards whenever you can, but also you cyclone his heroes. So like it is your heroes and your talents fighting his army, with like denying his heroes from being present on the battlefield. Now I can counter expo, basically I could actually feel very free on doing a lot of things. Serpent Wards level 2, they kind of start to rape. They're actually very damaging. Was trying to get their Rex down, was not able to. He was able to get the scroll, and here again like miss. My Demon Hunter survived because of the miss, I must admit, so I should have actually brought a potion of healing before. That's also like something you could consider doing. Quill Beasts are super nice into killing, and again like denied. That's what I'm saying. Like most important thing is not to feed the Orc experience, because if his Shadow Hunter is somehow getting level 5, I don't know what could save you. You would need to transition into like Lures and Bears probably, and play like Talons, Bears with Expo build. So now I'm getting to the shop, buying the last scroll, using the nighttime. Clarity for more Quill Beasts. You might ask me, why am I keep making Quill Beasts if they're getting purged? Well, they're really good at killing the Serpent Wards, so I'm just trying like... the reason why I'm pushing into the Orc's base here is not because there is no other option and, you know, like, and I just want to finish the game and win, but because I need to keep him here. If I let all that out with this amount of raiders, he's gonna be laming me here, he's gonna be laming me here, he's gonna defend somehow, re-expo, and, you know, the game is still not won. Like, it is pretty much, yeah, it is, we're, like, in a good position, but it's not yet a GG, and also Soin is pretty much known for his comeback potential, so he's actually, like, really good player from playing behind. like one of the best orcs, I could say, on that department. So Shamans mismicroed again, like of course it was worse to mana burn. I could just skip this part here. Once again, a lot of serpent wards, I'm not even trying to go in. He's using again a lot of money towards those clarities, healing souls and stuff, and my entire just like, you know, like desire here is not to let those raiders here into laming me here. Again, few talents here, because he starts adding more shamans and everything. I'm getting fairy dragons, because that's the only unit except for cool beasts and heroes that's capable of focusing those serpent wards down. So we're again fighting. Sometimes it's even worse if you're like playing Dryad. You see, now it was a double purge, so now I finally make him spend the mana, because if there's gonna be an actual fight, he's gonna run out of mana for cyclones. That's like why, you know, what all of those denied cool beasts made him do. 3 serpent wards. I could fight here only if I'm able to reach them. So if I'm able to engage into those serpent wards and actually kill them first, then I could possibly take a fight here. If I don't engage here, I could try to kite, but once again, my only desire is to keep him in his base, like even if the game is gonna keep going, using the scroll of the beast, scroll of the heal, I mean, into saving my tinker. So speaking of the scroll of the beast, once you're, scroll of healing, once you're playing talons, it could give you nice value even if you're using it just on your heroes. Just remember that scroll of the healing. You might want to get used, like against Shadow Hunter you might have just 1, against Torrent Chieftain you need at least 2, at least 1 invul, possibly healing potions, but remember, it's okay to use even on just 1 hero. So fairy dragons finally come in. You can use either no serpent wards, like so flare form is fine. Yeah, so flare form, so he's not gonna be able and have like easy time displaying all that. Pocket factory from your tinker, I want to talk about its positioning as well. So you always want to place it towards behind as much as possible. You never want to drop it in the face of the orc, as many night elves for some magic reason do, because what happens then is getting focused, and sometimes it feels right. You want like, it's like 300 HP, why wouldn't it just soak up the damage? No, like it spawns the robo-goblins that are way more HP, and they can tank, create, you know, this kind of mass on the battleground, and like they actually blow up and they deal so much damage. They're like always towards as like, you know, like side-ish and like orc, unreachable places for orc. Focusing raiders, spawning more serpent wards, mana burn into cyclone. He's trying to focus those fairy dragons, and I again start focusing serpent wards. So to me, magic number is 3. If there are more than 3 serpent wards, you must start focusing them. If there are like 4 or 5, you might not even want to fight it. He's using again like his Blade Master invulnerability, and that causes him to kill my beast with a crit. Therefore, now he's focusing my Demon Hunter. Again, just cycling his everything and killing all the serpent wards, keep cycling his blade. Remember, Blade Master flies only a few seconds, so you need to always constantly spam the cyclone it so it does not deal any damage. If sometimes you need to mana burn and then cyclone it, then of course go for it, but otherwise keep the Blade Master flying at all times. Finally, I drag my attention here. I have just 2 wisps on my main base, so I decided not to even bother transferring those. Main's finished, so I now understand that he's gonna be a little bit behind in terms of gold mine finishing, but again, he's gonna spend all of his resources into healing and stuff, while I'll actually get the wisps transferred. And my main, so far, I decided to leave here. Why? Because I staff units here, and I want to be able to heal them. It's only the finishing of the night time so far, and that's how I want to proceed with the game. It's actually midnight. Buying an invul, or maybe I'm waiting for an invul. If there is no invul, I get a heal scroll. That's like basically what you should aim for. Once again, the pocket factory, you always spawn, you rally point somewhere towards orcs, units, base, whatever it is, and you just wait for the robo-goblins to do their part of the job. Now, I don't have the Beastmaster, and I do see him having some army here. So, now I understand that he has no base. All I need is to prevent him from expanding, or if he's gonna expand, I need to be there and cancel it before any towers or anything like that goes on, because once again, Shadowhunter and Blademaster late game could be very scary. They could carry games, and they're generally one of the very best heroes of the game, so like, we need to actually control those. He's gonna try to expand here, bring in all of his peasants. I do check and leave a talent here, like there are two potential places, right? So talent goes here while everything goes here. This now my main is actually walking here, and I could explain why, because this one wasn't crept and I got no time or whatsoever to creep it. Therefore, what I do is actually I just decided to take his aggressive expansion because I'm kind of winning and I'm in control of the game so far. Beastmaster coming back. Again, like you see, like pocket factory towards like the side of the fight. Now, unfortunately, I'm forced to regroup, and my demon hunter is getting a lot of damage from those serpent wards. Talon here just to scout. There is another one coming back. Serpent wards. He's focusing my demon, so I always wanna make his heroes fly. I'm also making all of his raiders flies because I do have like a few staffs, and now I'm staffing my demon hunter. Problem is I staffed it here. I kind of forgot that I moved it here, and so whenever I staff, I have like the bin that's saved to my base that I usually just shift click all of my wound wells and go back, and now my demon hunter is going to actually drink all the moon wells, but there is a fighting going on. And by the way, you see Tinker and Robo-Goblins now attacking Shadowhunter, and just watch how much damage they deal. Yeah, Beastmaster here would die from a single crit, and his Blademaster is actually surviving off 4 HP. Tiny bit of luck, but yeah, that happens. Shadowhunter is just dead from the Robo-Goblins. Now I brought back my Demon Hunter, killing his blade, and there we go. That's a GG. So that's like the aggressive way of playing Talons. That is not good on all the maps. You need to have very precise AOW movement. You need to have very precise timings. And you need to have a very precise understanding of the game. So once again, you remember I was not suffering while he was here, or while I believed his Blademaster could have seen it and stuff. So like, you need like some, you know, ways around sometimes to go for. But Talons are very much playable. It's a little bit hard. I would say that, like, again, for the low MMR or lower MMR, it's still better probably to go like, I would say Dryads maybe, or Mass Tier 1 Keeper Alchemist, because I don't think in terms of like strategic choices much changed there for the lower MMR specifically. Or you could always just go Dryads. It is stupid, it is boring, and I kind of feel you guys, because, you know, like whenever you ask like what do I play, and you're just Dryad Bears. And what do I play against that? Dryad Bears. And what do you play against? Dryad Bears. But that's the easiest kind of thing to execute. Or you could of course say, okay, I want to improve, I want to play the harder to execute strategies, but I want to become overall better, and I want to like escape where I am right now and grow. And then of course you go for those builds. There is a lot to those strats. I think it's gonna take you possibly 500 games at least with analytics to actually become somewhat good with it, and that's like a shitload of games, don't get me wrong, it's pretty hard. But that's like how you grow, and that's like how you improve in the game. Thank you so much, Vavis. Good evening, nice replay. Thank you so much. We just watched the game against Soin Orc on Autumn Leaves. I'll save this like video. I'll literally just like relaunch the stream. I'm not sure if it's gonna cut it or if it's gonna basically, I just want to cut it, so I save this video and it just stays there, and like I could actually share it. to like my fellow native players, and then we just continue with the normal stream.